Square this morning. Thanks so much for being there. Congressman Ed Royce is the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee. He joins us right now. He's a Republican from California. He's here to talk to us about Syria, major developments yesterday on that and today as well. But Chairman Royce, first I want to ask you a little bit about the attacks here in Boston. You are chairing this committee. You are holding hearings today on Islamic extremism in Chechnya, which is obviously a very important subject right now. Do you have any information, any new information connecting these brothers here in Boston, their attacks to Islamic extremism in Chechnya?
Well, we do. The mosque that the older brother attended in Chechnya is one of the most radicalized. The types of doctrine that comes out of that mosque are al-Qaeda inspired. And if you look at some of the Chechnyan assaults that have occurred and the magnitude of the casualties in that region, you have over 300 children killed, of course, on the attack on the school, hundreds injured. You've got the attack on the Moscow theater that again took the lives of 120 people. You've got the attack on the subway with hundreds and hundreds of casualties in Moscow, all done by organizations linked to this particular al-Qaeda network, one which has the dream of a caliphate that extends beyond Chechnya, but includes all of southern Russia, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and that's why we see these Chechnyan fighters also killing troops in Afghanistan, carrying out attacks in Pakistan. They have a wider vision of what they want to do with a caliphate, and apparently the older brother, for the 6 months that he was there, was brought into the fold in terms of that movement.
Of course, the big question is whether their visions for that caliphate extend beyond Russia and maybe now extend all the way here to the United States. But let me ask you another question now about intelligence first, Congressman. Of course, now there are these differing accounts of how much the FBI did or did not do in 2011 when they first got word from the Russians that there were concerns about Pamela and Tsarnaev. Are you satisfied right now that the FBI followed up all of these they should, or are you in the camp that there needs to be much more investigation here, perhaps even congressional hearings?
Well, the problem, of course, is when a foreign government tips you off, in this case, not just the FBI, but the CIA as well, that they have concerns about the terrorist ties with an individual like this, you would probably want to flag that file, right? You would want to know in the future if that individual's going to travel. I would think you'd want to know and check the websites, because on the website, of course, you had terrorist videos, you had him visiting chat rooms, and so clearly enough was not done in order to monitor the activities here, especially given the fact that it wasn't one heads up we were given, but several. So I do have questions, absolutely, and this is one of the things we're looking at with our hearing.
Congressman, another area of major concern right now is, of course, in Syria. You're meeting with Secretary of State John Kerry today, following this news from the administration that they now believe, with varying degrees of confidence, that chemical weapons were used by the Assad regime in Syria. You know, Chairman Royce, do you believe a red line has been crossed here?
Well, clearly the administration has said that if something like sarin is used, then it crosses a red line. I think the reason for the concern is just how lethal this particular chemical agent is. Some of us remember the attack in the subways in Tokyo, was it, in 1995, where you had, half a dozen people killed, as memory serves, but I remember there were thousands injured in that attack, over 1,000. So when we look at sarin as a chemical agent, if you get that into the food or water, or even if you breathe it, in small doses, it's very, very lethal. And I think that's why the international community is so interested. We had the King of Jordan here yesterday speaking to us on the committee about this issue. Today we'll talk to the Secretary of State. I think the international community is moving towards embracing sort of the goal of the Free Syrian Army to try to overturn the Assad regime. That does not mean boots on the ground on the part of the United States, but it probably means assisting those who are resisting Assad in a more robust way to make certain that we put a quicker conclusion or quicker end to this struggle in Syria.
All right, Congressman Ed Royce, Chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, meeting with the Secretary of State today. Thank you so much for joining us.